So today I'm just going to take you through how to transform basically any idea that you have and make them workable. And we're going to break them down step by step and see what tools that you can use to make them happen. And we're going to look in general, like what is LLM, why are we doing this, why this is important right now, what are the different tools available in the market, and so on. So I'm just breaking it up a little bit in terms of the agenda. And before we get started, my name is Madhu. I work as a senior product manager. I live and work in Sweden. Right now, I'm working in the iGaming industry as a senior product manager, as I mentioned. But I've worked as product lead before, also within iGaming, and I worked in telecom and e-commerce before. Been in the tech industry for almost 17, 18 years now. Yeah, that's pretty much a basic introduction. I got started with the AI journey around 6, 8 months ago. Prior to that, I have been mostly using AI basically to summarize my meeting record for things like that. But I've started to dive a little bit deeper to get a little bit more insight into what's going on in this side of the world. Basically, uh, just to be at par and just to understand what's going on and learn these tools and see what can be done and how things can make my life easier, basically. I recently was part of the Microsoft MS Teams beta journey. I got to meet a lot of new people there, used a lot of new tools that I've normally wouldn't have even explored. Before that, I took a cohort training at Maven for like a couple of weeks. That was around no-code AI tools. And I've been doing a lot of study on the side, basically with anything that's free, like YouTube, Coursera, stuff like that. So I'm also learning with you guys, and I'm happy that people that are joining here today are taking this up because I think it's really important to see where this is going and how we can use it and how it can simplify our lives, basically. So as part of the agenda, as I said, let's go through a little bit into introduction of LLMs, what they are, what they can do, a little bit around the no code and low code landscape, like what are the different tools available, comparison and trends, what are the possible limitations, how can we use them the best they are at this point, real life use case, basically this is going to be an example of what we will explore today, and then a hands-on session. And also we will, before we start the hands-on, I will show you what are the prerequisites. If you want to try along with me, it will be really useful to try it hands-on, I think, so you get a feel for it. And then we can jump to question and answers session and anything else that you want to talk about in
Madhu?
general. And if something has not worked.
Madhu?
Yeah.
Actually, I see only one like screen. I do not see that there is any movement in the slides. I don't know if you're actually referring to the slides.
Oh, right. Don't you see the agenda?
No, I see
Oh,
only the, yeah, uh, first slide.
okay. Let me see how I can fix that. I probably need to stop sharing and start sharing again, I guess.
Y-
Do you see it now?
No, it's the same like before. Yeah, now you went to that. But could it be like in slideshow mode or something like that?
Yes, I can make that happen.
Yeah,
Is it
this is
better?
better. Yeah,
Cool.
thank you.
Cool. All right, a little bit into introduction of LLMs for the sake of, or for the benefit of people that are still new here or haven't really explored a lot. Um, so what is LLM? Is basically large language model, and how can we benefit from it is basically, I mean, earlier, if you need to like talk to machines, you basically have to speak their language. and they were not really speaking your language, basically not English or whatever mother tongue yours is. And now LLMs just makes that happen, right? So you can just talk however you talk, and the machines are going to understand what you're talking, and are going to be able to perform things as you want. So natural language processing is what makes this useful for us. And for example, there are a lot of different tools you might have heard of. They're very popular: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and we're also going to cover some of the coding tools today. But apart from that, what can LLMs do? They can basically answer your questions. They can be your soundboarding partner. They can generate text. They can generate code. They can generate any type of content, images, summarize stuff for you. Basically, make life much easier for you. Why are LLMs making noise now? So when ChatGPT came out with a better version, which was around like a couple of years ago, more and more people started adopting it, right? And it started familiarizing. And I mean, even though this has been in the market for quite some time, in the last couple of years, it has gained a lot of traction because these models are getting very, very much better, and more people are adopting and using it. So that helps these products better. Uh, and then it's also open access. So a lot of these tools that are available in the market, they have different subscription versions, right? You can either use them free. You can see if this is a product for you, if it is working for you. If not, then you can switch and try another product. There are multiple versions of different products available. And uh, also, if you really like some product, you can really buy a subscription and explore a bit more. Personally, what has worked for me in this space is that I have tried to try a free version of a product, and if I see it's really working for me and if I really like it, I try to buy the subscription, use it for a bit longer, and see how this benefits me. Uh, Also, LLMs, how you can use in your daily tools, depending upon whatever background you're from. For example, if you're a product person, if you're into a small business owner that's just starting up, there are several products available. Almost all products are going in the direction of AI these days, and they have some version of AI incorporated into them. Since I don't really know the background of everybody available here, I'm just going to stick to some of the famous ones, like Figma, if you've been using that, Canva, or GitHub Copilot. Whatever is your background, there is some aspect of AI coming into it these days. So it's just exploding. And also, as I said before, LLMs can process multiple different formats, right? It could be images, it could be audio, it could be documents, it could be music. There are so many different tools out there in the market. And sometimes, if you don't get enough of one product, you could combine the output of one of the product into another product to make things better and make things work for you. So all in all, it's not just smarter AI, it's accessible for everyone. Everybody should use it and see what works for them and try out. Uh, I think it's going to benefit you in some way, and you're going to eventually find how it fits your purpose. Uh, so how does it matter having LLMs plus no code tool, right? What does it enable you? Basically, if you've been pondering over an idea for a really long time, and the only thing that doesn't make you get started is because you do not have the expertise to code, then this is for you. Basically, you can start with zero knowledge of coding. I would definitely say some amount of pre studying about like software development, the basics, like, what are the steps involved, how you should make things happen. Those kind of general knowledge is still good to have, but you don't need to go too deep into it. You can even use ChatGPT or any other chatting tools to understand the basic concepts of how software is supposed to be built, just so you get a general awareness of how. But if you're already having the tech background, I don't think it would be a problem for you. And also, apart from building without engineering, you can also use it for automating a lot of your tasks, right? Saving time on your emails, writing summaries and responses. Apart from that, there are a lot of different tools. If you're a product manager, you could use tools that can write your PRDs. You could come up with what are the scenarios that could go wrong, what you should be careful about. Is there any involved potential risk that you're overseeing? There's a lot of different ways you can use these products. And also, one of the main things that I really like is that you can create your own prototypes, and you can see how you can validate your ideas faster, right? And I really think how it fits my purpose is basically whatever ideas I have in my mind or my head. Sometimes it's really hard to explain, right? Even if you want to put it on a whiteboard or a piece of paper, sometimes it's just so much easier when you can visually show somebody, like, this is what is in my head, and this is how I hope this to work. And then you can just easily convince people whether they want to buy into your idea or not, rather than just explaining and showing them 10 pages of documents and stuff like that. So uh, really, really good use case there in terms of creating prototypes and validating ideas really fast. And the last one is it basically enables you, me, anybody that doesn't have too much in-depth knowledge with coding to just pick it up and get somewhere. I mean, if you really, really want to take this seriously, I think at some point it's really good to get a good understanding of how coding works and like get the basics of that. Maybe also if you have a specific language of preference, have a beginner level understanding of how that language works and so on, if you really want to take it to the next step. But to just get started, I think you don't really need that. You can just start with what is there in the market, try to see how things are working, and then learn as you go. Yeah, getting to the no-code tools, there are so many tools in the market, right? I did write ChatGPT and Claude here because they can also generate code. You cannot really see what's going on with that code because you cannot really show, it doesn't really show on the chat window how the UI is going to look like, but you can obviously copy the code, put it on any of the other tools that is listed here, and see how it works. But there are so many other tools. I think the most favorite or the most popular one these days is Lovable because it's so much easier, and I think it's also they're also moving the product in a super high pace, and I think a lot of people really love it, and I think it's a really apt name, Lovable. Of the tools here, I have used most of them. I'm really getting started with Lovable. I don't know why I didn't give it so much, but I am starting to use it a bit more, and I am seeing that it's really great. In some of these products, I even took subscription and tried it for a couple of months. Especially Replit, I really liked it because it had a built-in backend and it was really easy to get started if I wanted to build something that was end-to-end. But I mean, these tools, we're going to talk a little bit about the limitations in the upcoming slide, but these tools also only takes you so much far in your journey. At some point, if things get really complex, I think you would have to include some sort of subject matter experts, I believe, at least. So as long as you have a very simple idea that's very straightforward, I think they can get you there. But if it's a really complex idea that has a lot of back and forth between different systems, I really think that it's good to have some amount of coding knowledge. But yeah, my favorite of these tools, I really like a lot of different aspects of each of these tools. I can't really pick a favorite. But as I said, Replit, I tried quite some time because of the ease of just connecting it with the backend. But I'm starting to invest my energy a little bit more with Bolt and Lovable these days because the products are also proving to be really, really good. So I'm going to give them more energy in the upcoming days. And as I said, I'm also learning with you guys. So um yeah, I will share these deck slides, but you might have seen as well. And these are open information in the web as well. So if you want a little comparison and also a little bit around like which tool is best for what, it's good to do your research. Yeah, in terms of limitations of the no-code tools, as I said, they get you, they help you get started in most cases. And if it's really simple idea, then I think they can also help you really get the product out. But if you really want a lot of customizations, a lot of technical things into it, it becomes a little bit complex to achieve that at this point. But as I said, these tools are moving really rapidly, and I think that in maybe some months, maybe years, they're going to be really, really good. Uh, another limitation I see is that there are so many tools, and also there's a lot of different price points for these tools. And if you want to try multiple tools at the same time, it really becomes a lot expensive for you. As I said before, what has worked for me is take a subscription in one of the tool, try it for some time, disconnect that, try another tool. But these tools are also growing at a really fast pace. So you might it's natural that you might develop a FOMO in terms of missing out something that was really cool. So it's really good to stay close and see what these tools are doing, and if possible, try them out on the free tier. If not, even play around, take a subscription for 1 or 2 months if you can, and try them out. One of the major concerns is around the privacy and the data concerns in the public platforms. This is a natural concern. I don't think I have a solution to this point, but I just wanted to put it out here. Uh, I mean, there's also a lot of discussions around responsible AI and how we can make these safe and so on. But I hope that as we also build these products, the voice for responsible AI and stuff like that will also grow, and there will be some sort of regulations that we might need to follow. Yeah, cost is something that we also covered. But in short, I think that without trying, we would never know. So if you really want to learn, I think that the best way is to try than theoretical. You might watch 100 videos, but never really get there if you don't try and see what is working for you. So I would say the best thing that has worked for me is to keep trying. So moving really close to the hands-on, because we're losing time. What we are going to do today, I really wanted to keep this hands-on simple. So I just picked a use case of if you have any event that you want to arrange, and basically you want people to RSVP, and you want to save this information somewhere with their food preferences and so on. And also if you want to send an automated email to them thanking them for attending the event and so on, how would you do this in a really nice way? And for that, we would be using some tools. So I use ChatGPT for ideation and structuring the idea, basically. Lovable for just making a very simple website. I use the free tier of Lovable. So I will also show you how you can get a really good website in just one prompt. Uh, Tally for collecting the RSVP information, and then Zapier for automating, basically saving this information on Google Sheets, and also then sending out a Gmail email, whatever email account you want to tie it to. So that's about it. Do we have any questions so far? Okay. Um, so on the workflow level, so what we're doing basically is we're going to create a simple website on Lovable, and that Lovable site is going to be embedded with the RSVP form that we build with Tally. And when the user submits a form on the Lovable site, which is then embedded with Tally, then we're going to trigger a Zapier integration, and the Zapier integration is then going to save the data on Google Form and then also send out a confirmation email. So that's what we're going to do. I think it would be really useful if you have accounts set up on these. Uh, Basically, Tally would be a free account. If you have access to ChatGPT, that would be great to start with. And then Zapier, you can use a free version for now. But if you want to add three-step automation, then I think you would need to have a paid version, which is what I have. But I'm going to it's a 7-day free trial, and if you don't disconnect it within 7 days, then it's going to charge you. So just for this say the sake of this exercise, I just took the paid version, but it's only for 7 days, and then I'm going to disconnect it. Lovable, as I said, it's a free version that I'm using. You have 5 tokens to use every day, and then each of you should be having a Google account or a Gmail account, I suppose, that we could just use. If you don't have account with any of these, I would really suggest, and if you really want to do this step by step with me, I would really suggest that you create the accounts now. I'm going to give a few minutes. I see a question from Preksha. What kind of products prototype can be built in these tools? Um, I mean, a lot of different tools support different things. For example, in Lovable, you can just take a screenshot and share an image. And basically, if you want to make any alterations to the screen, add more features, you could do that simply and present this is what you're hoping for. I think last week I attended one of the sessions by another participant of the beta program. They shared a useful use case of if you want to like add filters to your news channel in LinkedIn. How do you do that? So I really suggest that if you have access, you should look at the previous week's programs, because there's a lot of useful information. A lot of people have covered a lot of good sessions, and there's useful information there that you can learn from. So any type of prototype, basically, it can be from an existing product that you just want to copy, or it could be a completely new idea that you want to ideate. You could build basically prototype for anything. And if you want a mobile app version, I think only Bolt supports that. But yeah, any of these tools that I suggested before, Replit, V0 is really good for websites. Um, Lovable can do back and front end, and also Bolt, but you need to connect them with Supabase. Yeah, if you guys are ready with registering on the tools, then just raise your hand so I know if I can just start the hands-on part. Cool. I see a few hands. I can start. So basically, as I said, I usually start ideating with ChatGPT as the first step. And when I give my prompt, sorry guys, you can lower your hands now. So I usually start with ChatGPT when I want to build something, and I really give like a long as much detailed prompt as possible, depending upon what exactly I want to show. I hope you're seeing my ChatGPT screen.
Actually, we see the Word document with the prompt.
Okay, cool. I probably will reshare now.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, so I usually start ideating with ChatGPT as my first step. You could use any chatting tool you like. Claude is also really good. I use Perplexity sometimes if I want to do some sort of deep research, and it's really amazing. I've almost replaced Google search with Perplexity these days. So when I start prompting to ChatGPT, I really like to give a very detailed prompt in terms of what my expectation is and give as much information as possible so that I would get the best out of ChatGPT. You could also do this if you're a starter. I think you could also learn and do this as you go. Like you can keep chatting and answering answering questions as you go that it wants you to confirm. But if you really, really want to minimize a long chat, because after some time it just really becomes a bit too much. So if you really want it to get to work, it's really good to give as much details as possible. So in this example, I just told ChatGPT that I'm going to be conducting a AI workshop, and I really want to come up with like a really good example, and this is my idea that I will in my hands-on training, I'm going to create an invite that's going to be a website invite for a wedding or whatever, for 50 families or 100 people to show up, and I'm going to ask the attendees to answer an RSVP on the event, and which is about like if they're going to attend or not, what are the food preferences for the family, and then I would just take that information to save it on a Google Sheet so it's easier for me to order food, and also the participants would get a confirmation email just to confirm that we have received their answers. So it's a really simple use case. It can be complicated if you want to try something else. There are other examples that I have suggested in the presentation afterwards, which I will also share. But if you want to really keep this simple, you can start it with a really simple use case and see how far you can go. And the key here is not just building the website. The key here is how you can get the website to integrate with third-party tools. So the integration is the key. So based on that, what I got from ChatGPT is basically, I asked ChatGPT as well, like suggest me any other, if you think that this is not really good idea, Jen, suggest me any other ideas or improvements to this use case. So I'm going to just skip through the confirmation that I got and all of that, but it really gave me some useful aspects in terms of like what else can be added, what else can I be doing. Sorry if somebody's talking. I can't. Cool. So it's just back and forth chatting, and then the key that I want to really highlight is that I told ChatGPT, for example, that I have a free version of Lovable. So give me a prompt so that it's really clear enough, so that I don't really need to reiterate several times. because again, I'm using a free version and I only have 5 credits to use per day, and time is key. So I really told it, give me a really crisp prompt that covers everything that I need for this particular use case. And then you can see that ChatGPT really gave me a prompt, and I was not really satisfied with this. So I added a little bit more update, which I should have given it in the first place. I just told it, please, can you also include information about um, who is the person that's sending this invite, and also make this more personal. So then it added a bit more information, which is the version that I really took. So this is basically just going back and forth with ChatGPT, ideating the whole thing. If you're really building a complex thing, then I would suggest that you go ahead and ask it to prepare a PRD, break it down step by step, and so on. But since this was not really about building a complex product with a PRD, I really skipped that step. But if you really want to do that, you can go ahead and do that. As I said, there are other sessions where people have shared how to get a great PRD out of ChatGPT and so on. So it can do whatever you ask it to do. And also, the more information you give it, the better the response is going to be. I'm going to stop sharing with ChatGPT. I'm going to skip to the other screen. I'm really sorry with my settings on my computer that I really need to switch between screens like this. Okay, going back to the steps. What we're going to be doing is basically copy paste the prompt that ChatGPT gave me. This is the prompt that I just copied over to the Word document for the sake of this session. So it's given me everything that I need that I need to build this website. And the only thing that I wanted to do is, in addition, if you see on the RSVP section here, I asked it to embed the tally form. That is where people will RSVP for the event, right? And I need to place my personal tally link here. So before we begin building the website, what I would really suggest is that we go ahead and build the tally form so that it's easier for us to move to the next step. I'm gonna try to. All right, do you see my tally form now?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna just take you through step by step to create this tally form so we can do this together. So I can paste this step by step on the chat so it's easier for you to follow through. I've placed it on the chat now. So basically, you just go to Tally, log into your account, and then you click on this new form button. And then you can give your form a name. In this case, I'm just going to call it test test form, but you can call it the previous form that I created. I just called it in the name of the event that I'm going to be creating, and that is Eternal Tides RSVP. So you can just copy paste that name And then once you're done, you can just click on start from scratch and start adding fields into it. So the first field, as you see, would be a full name. And basically, we're creating the RSVP form. So copy the full name and then say it's a short answer, insert field, and then copy the name there. And then add the next field, which would be an email address field. And then the next field would be, are you attending, yes or no? And that would be a multi-select option. And the option 1 would be yes. Option 2 would be no. And the question number 4 would be, if attending, how many people it would be. And that would be a number because people would enter number of people that would be attending. And then the meal preference. And then you enter a few options that you think is relevant. I'm just rushing it through here in terms of showing, but you can copy paste exactly as it is on the chat so that when we get to the Zapier step, I can really show you how to map things out. So include all of the options here or whatever you feel is relevant. And then if there was other restrictions in terms of meal preferences, we also add a long answer to mention what type of restriction they have. And then another long answer for any special message to the couple. Once you're done, you can just click on this form and say publish. And then you're going to get a link of the tally form, which you're going to copy because this is what you will feed into Lovable to embed onto your website. If you're done till this step, just let me know. Raise your hands, guys, if you're done, and if I should just move on to the next step. Cool. As a next step, I'm just going to paste the lovable prompt here. It has everything. The only thing I want you to do is there's in quotes, there's a place where it says place your tally link here. Please place your tally link, respective tally links there, so that when you copy paste this on Lovable, it's just going to create a site with your form. And
Are you
also feel
sharing?
free if you want to change anything here on the content. I just created a very rough, I just took whatever ChatGPT gave me. If you want to make this more personal, if you want to change the look and feel, not a beach theme, but something else, feel free to alter the prompt as you please.
Are you sharing slides, Muthu?
No, I'm just putting it on the chat here, the lovable prompt.
Okay.
There's a place for place your tally link here, so you can just place it there. So once you have copy pasted that onto, I'm just going to open Lovable screen. Um, cool. As you see, I just copy pasted the exact same prompt and I pasted my personal tally link here. If you're following along, then you would have your own tally link. Just place that on the section 4, under section 4, and just go ahead and just click on enter. You should immediately get a website that looks maybe similar to this, not exactly the same, but something like this, I hope. So you can see here the tally form that we just created is embedded here. And what we're going to do next is when people fill in the form here and submit it, the next step is going to be creating zaps so that it will save on Google Sheets and also send out an email to the person that just RSVP'd. Cool. So this is my site here. I'm gonna just refresh it and wait. If you're done, we can move on to Zapier.
Can I ask you a quick question while we're waiting?
Yes.
Why do you have to do the Google step? Does this tally not have a database or not have a way to get the results from the form input embedded in
It
it?
does. It does. So if I don't know if you still see my tally form, tally screen or only the lovable one.
Yes, we see tally.
So if I click on here, you can see that it saves all of this.
But
You
it's
could
not
use
in
it.
like a database form, a
Yeah, so
spreadsheet
this is
form.
how you can
Okay.
see it. If you really want to like make it easier for you, I think the Google step is good to have. I mean, you can alternatively, you can ask Lovable to also have a database, but I mean, for this use case, it's not really needed. But if you're building a CRM system in the exact same way, for example, or if you're building your small business and you really want your list of customers or users of a certain product to be saved, then I think that it's good to do it on a Google Sheet or have database tied up to your project. If that makes sense. Shall I move on to Zapier? Cool. For the sake of just showing, I'm just going to start with creating a new zap. So it's easy to just follow through. So the first step is basically going to be tally, because that's where people will fill in, and that's what is going to trigger the next action. So I would choose tally here as a first step. And once I've done that, I'm going to choose which is my tally form that should trigger this operation. So you should ideally copy paste your tally link that you have on yours. So you just copy paste that link there. And then I'm going to link my account. For example, I have two zaps, but I'm going to link one of them. I don't know which one this is because it doesn't really show me the correct name. But then on the event, that this is important. So on the event, you're going to say new submission. So whenever a new tally submission is made, it's basically going to trigger your tally form. Or it's going to trigger the next step. So you're trying to link your tally form and then say on submission of that, the next step should be happening. And then in the configure, you're going to choose whatever is your form. So just for the sake of showing, for the example now, I'm just going to click on test form, but I will show you how the actual setup looks like. So I'm just going to click on this test form, but you would be seeing the name of the form, the Eternal Tides RSVP form, and then you just choose that, and then you click on continue. And then you are able to test the form, basically. I hope that step went okay. So now it's moving on to the next step. And before we move on to the next step, I would like you to go to your Google Drive and create an Excel called Eternal Tides for the sake of relevancy. And inside that file, I would like you to create these 6 columns: full name, email, RSVP, number, meal choice, and notes. Just give me a thumbs up or something if you're done, so that I will know. Should I move on?
Hey Madhu, could you please reshare the Google Sheet? What columns need to be included?
Sure.
Thanks.
It's full name, email.
Thanks.
Are you seeing the Google Sheet that I'm showing?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. I can copy paste it on the chat if it's easy. Well, once that's done, basically you connect your account and then you choose an event. So in this case, you would say that I'm also going to paste this here so it's easy to just see the steps. I should have done this before I started Zap. Cool. I've pasted the Zapier steps as well, so it's easier for you to see what's the next step and go with your pace. So basically what we're trying to do here is trying to connect the Google Sheet, and when the tally form is submitted, we want that to be saved in our Google Sheet. So we're going to choose the sheet and then create spreadsheet row, because we want it to create a new row every time a tally form is submitted. So here we're going to click on create spreadsheet row, and then you link your Google account to it, and then you continue, and then you start filling in where it should find that sheet, and what is the name of the sheet, and also what is the tab of the worksheet. What is the name of the worksheet name? Sorry, the name of the worksheet. So you fill in all of that information, then it's going to understand that this is the sheet I should be adding a new row to. And this one, I don't really understand what it should be doing, but I just set it to true. It doesn't really matter. I think if you're using it to save like datetime format and stuff like that, maybe it's for the sake of that. But in this example, we're not really saving that kind of information. So I do not really go deep into that. Once you're done with that step, then you need to start mapping your tally form fields with the Google Sheet columns so that it knows the full name should go into a specific column. So the full name here, you see, that's the column name on your Google Sheet. And you're going to choose here on your tally form what that field corresponds to. So you're going to click on full name. And under the email, then you're going to click on email. So you just start filling in this information and just mapping out this information so it knows what information should go to what column. Once you're done with mapping out all the respective columns in the right fields, then you click on continue, and then you can just do a test just to make sure that everything is set up and working. And once that's done, you're basically going to click on publish. And hopefully now, when a form is submitted on your RSVP tally sheet in your website, it's going to create a new row. You can go ahead and test that step out if you want, or else you could go one step more. I'm just going to show you my old Zap. We're just going to turn this off. This is my original Zap. And you just click on you just click on the arrow and you would be able to add another step. And in that step, you're going to click on Gmail. And on the setup, you're just going to click on send email. And you just choose from which account you want to send the Gmail from. It could be the same email that you have your Google Sheet Drive on, or it could be another a linked account that you want to send the email from. And then you click on from the to the to address. You're going to map out who should get this email. So basically what we're doing is when a tally form is submitted, we're going to take that email and we're going to say, this is the person that's going to get the email back when they've submitted the answer. So you're mapping the to the email address on the tally form. And I'm leaving everything else not filled in. And on the subject, I'm just going to say thank you for RSVPing to the to Eternal Tides event. And I'm going to just copy paste the body of the email as it is. It's on the chat. So you can just copy paste the body of the email that's on the chat and just say, it basically says, thank you, Mr. XYZ. Uh, we are now confirming that you're going to be attending this event on X date, and we have noted that it will be 3 people attending from your family, for example, and your meal preference is vegetarian, for example, and then just a thank you note. And once that step is done, we can also test this step to make sure that it's working all right. And once you're done, basically there will be a publish button to just publish the zap, and then we're good to go. We can try out filling the form on Lovable, and then we just see the data go through. If you're done, I can just show in my example like how the data flows through, and then we can have a look, and I'll be really glad to know if some of you got it to work. So this is my site again. So I'm just going to be filling in some details. I'm just filling in some random information for the sake of test. So once I submit this form, you can see that the Google Sheet has the information there with the same information that we just filled on the form. And also, if I go to my Gmail, this takes a bit time to process. Yes, here's the email that we sent out as a thank you note. Did any of you get that to work? Cool. I see that some people just got this working. I'm really happy. So that was it. If you want to build a little bit more on the steps, I would suggest that there are like very similar use cases. You can just try it by yourself, like building a simple CRM system, or it could be a lead generation platform. And I saw your comment, Natalie, that you could set up your book club exactly the same way. Also, with the Zapier, you can add filters and stuff. So, for example, if somebody answered no, maybe you can send them a different email, or if they answered yes, they could be getting a different email. You know, a lot of different combinations.
Thank you for taking the time and sharing all of that. That was super helpful. I agree. I think taking that first step, I don't know why it's so intimidating, but it is, but you've inspired me. So thanks a lot.
Made my day.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
That is
haven't
all I
tried.
had.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
haven't tried Zapier before, and I think this just kickstarted me. Thank you. It was really good.
Yeah, I think you can also try Make. I think it's much more cheaper in terms of like if you're a first starter, I think it's like 1,000 credits that you get for free. So I think you could try the exact same thing with Make as well, Natalie, if you want to really try it. And if you don't want to spend money, I think Make is also a good option.
Okay, so Make is instead of Zapier.
Yes, it's exactly the same concept, but you probably get a little bit more free. Zapier is good if it's just 2 step, then you get it for free. If you want to add 3 steps or more, then it's going to cost you.
Madhu, have you tried NAM? Is it cheaper than Make? Have you compared the two?
No, we did that last project of beta with N8N where Kiran did that, and I attended her session. I really have to give that a go as a next step. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I think that one's pretty good too in terms of like it's very powerful as like
yeah,
you can set up a lot of stuff, but I haven't compared the pricing plan between that and make.com. I also heard that there's one of the speaker mentioned that there's a self-hosting option if you choose to go with MAN, and it's a lot cheaper. It's like $8 a month for $24 worth of value or something like that.
yeah. I think I have to do a comparison next to see like what are the different tools. I think Zapier is also great. I mean, I've tried Zapier before, so I just thought it's just easier to just do with
Yeah, Zapier is
the
the
tool that
most
I
well
know.
known. Yeah, the most well known. Might be
Yeah,
the most expensive though.
yeah, exactly.
It
But
was
I
good
think
to
there are much cheaper
discover.
options these days.
Yeah, it was good to discover Tally. It looks really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Tally looks fun.
I was like,
Have
if we
I?
used that for beta, would have
Yeah,
saved so much headache.
I think you probably would have. I couldn't get half those spreadsheets and things to open. I mean, part of it was just me being new to Teams, but yeah, all those forms where you had to find your name to see your requirements and stuff, I just couldn't get any of those to work, Shivy. So, um, yeah, maybe there are some improvements.
Cool.
Shivy, while we have you, I had asked you a quick question in the chat, totally unrelated to this. I'm sorry. I was just wondering if you're doing the AI community again, or for those of us, like I was on spring break and I was job interviewing. So unfortunately, like I think I did 2 out of the 4 exercises. Do you plan to do it again at a time like maybe in the summer, or how are you thinking about the next one?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I know I have a backlog of people to respond to who email me throughout the beta and mention, they want to join the next cohort. Yeah, we're actively actually planning for the next cohort. A few of us in this call are part of a Tiger team that will kick off on Monday to help design an app that complements the team's experience for us to be better, like improve a lot of the friction that we experience on beta. And the summer, yeah, most likely will launch in the summer, TBD on the exact date, maybe late July, maybe early August. We want to,
Oh no.
not conflict
Okay.
with like the summer holidays and stuff. So
Yeah, that will conflict for me. Dang it, dang it. I have the worst timing with this. But yeah. Oh, thank you, Madhu, for that. Well, thanks, Shivy. I'll probably miss it again, but I can always go back because we
yeah,
still
no
have
problem.
access
I
to
think
everything, right?
I think we have a good way to make it easier to run future cohort and do it more frequently. I think the goal is to build it like a gym schedule or a chain schedule where you can just maybe we do it every month or every 6 week or something like that, and so people can join.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm happy to weigh in and brainstorm with you guys if you want. I know it's a different ball game for people that are unemployed versus employed. So that it's just a lot to juggle. I'm just grateful that you keep the enthusiast community going and the beta one where we can go back and look at the exercises and do them, or will you end up having to not maintain all of that over time?
I think we'll maintain part of it and most of it, but we might need to restructure a little bit some of the community stuff. But yeah, but don't worry about stuff will disappear. So they should still be there. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Madhu. That was really fun.
Thank you so much for joining today. Have a good weekend,
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you, Madhu. I think Ben had his arms up. Or was that from before?
Trying to lower my hand, sorry.
Yeah, probably from before, I guess.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Have a good
nice
weekend.
weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.